let's fucking go.
Well, YouTube's pissed because you dropped the F-bomb within like whatever the metric is. Apparently, YouTube's moving back to like shorter form metrics because allegedly TikTok has ruined the attention span of the current online
Let's be honest.
audience.
TikTok did not ruin the attention span. TikTok exposed that our attention spans were already shit.
I think it enabled us to want the shorter one. Like, that's why everybody loved Vine. Let's face it, like, I enjoy watching like longer videos, but not all the time. Sometimes I just want some quick, like, fast hits to the head of dopamine.
Give me the point, get in, get out. So here, along those lines, here we go. It's the new Black Tower Podcast short format episode. The Wheel of Time is a great book series, and you should read it. Thanks for tuning in.
I really wish we had our outro so that I could just play it.
I'm gonna, you know what? So let's do this real quick. Introductions. Hi, I'm the Sauravan Mahale. Josh is my title, and I bring the lightning. I bring the thunder to the Black Tower from down under, and it's great. It's awesome. It's the Black Tower Podcast. We are a Wheel of Time podcast. We talk about all things Wheel of Time. The gentleman to my immediate right here is one of my illustrious friends and hosts and brothers.
Oh, that was my cue. Yeah, I'm Sir Chokeballs. I mean, my name's Andrew. I'm the Byside Mahale. I fight the sometimes good fight.
Sometimes we fight the not good fight.
I gave up smoking for good. Now I smoke for evil.
For evil, that's right. And we thank you for tuning in tonight for this week's Dose of Taint. You know how it goes. We love to get out here and sling some taint. But before we do that, we need to talk about a couple things. Did you guys know that we have a Patreon? If you're watching this live, you did, because the only way you can watch it live is if we have a Patreon, if you're a patron. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the Black Tower. You can support the Guardians, the Ashaman of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, we can't say Guardians anymore.
Why?
Because the Space Force took that.
No. They tried to take it from us. They can't have it.
Yeah.
Can they channel Sidene?
Could you imagine getting yelled at? Hey, Guardian, get over here.
Like, did they really say Guardians?
Yeah. That's the generic term of address for the Space Force, Guardian.
What was cadet not good enough? Ensign, whatever. Didn't they like follow Star Trek and be all Navy terms?
I think they were thinking about it, but I don't think they did it. They just kept the Star Trek inspired sigil for the entire service.
You know what? I used to do both my eyebrows. No, it seems I'm having trouble with that. Oh, there we go. I don't know. I suck at it now. But you can support the Black Tower for as little as $1 a month. We have lots of fun benefits. We have Patreon exclusive content. We have live recording access. And yeah, lots of fun is had.
We got
tonight
merch that goes out.
Tonight we're going to be hosting an after show chat that is Patreon exclusive. And I'm going to show you some of my creative process for bringing in the animations, because I need to do that. It needs to happen. I need to get on that badly.
Yeah.
I need to.
I'm going to show you a way to keep the white stuff out of your beard and mustache.
Those are helpful tips, my friend. Helpful tips.
Nothing's more embarrassing than going to work like immediately after in the morning and then bam, evidence. Like, oh, you had a good morning, didn't you? Not as good as somebody else.
So yeah, tonight's episode is brought to you by the Black Tower Podcast Patreon. And
itch right where your eyelashes grow out of.
Dude, so I get itches real bad, like on the inside of my eyeballs, and I hate it. Because no matter what you do, it itches. You can't not itch. It sucks.
Yeah. Now imagine having hard plastic contacts that hurt if you push on them.
No, I don't want to imagine that actually at all, Andrew.
Let me shut up. I don't want to annoy Kelly talking about my contacts again.
Actually, I'm getting old enough to where I have to I think I need to go get my eyes checked. I might need some reading glasses or something because my eyeballs are like, I'm like, is that blurry or am I just like tired? Like, and I can't tell the difference. And it feels like there's lots of things I should be able to see that I can't see anymore. So I'm gonna
go get your eyes and your ass checked. I recommend both.
I'd check one of those every day.
Up to you to find out why. We're not going to spoil that for you.
Not going to spoil it.
We don't want to spoil this episode for you. So here is your spoiler warning, courtesy of one of the fantastic ladies over at North Harbor Podcast.
Spoiler warning.
This is your official spoiler warning. This episode contains spoilers for all 14 books and the prequel. If you are still listening and you haven't read all these, you want to be spoiled, don't you? You crave it. Getting spoiled without putting in the work? Well, get ready. Here it comes.
Mommy. Sorry. Mommy. Sorry. Oh,
man.
Adalorna Sedai of North Harbor Podcast. Go check out North Harbor if you can find them. They are actually
a post earlier today that had like the picture of the Tarvalon Island.
Yeah.
And it was like, no adventuring parties should be left on their own unless they can make it to North Harbor and then North Harbor and South Harbor and back or something like that. And I was like, oh, cool. What group is putting this? Is this a D&D group or whatever? No, it was a book purist group. And then I was like, well, never mind. I feel dirty for thinking you posted a picture with a little meme that was cool.
Look, I'm just going to say the controversial thing. I'm just going to say it. Is being a book purist a bad thing? I don't think it in and of itself is a bad thing. I think it's a little nearsighted. I think if you go into looking at an adaptation expecting a shot-for-shot remake of the books, you're going to be disappointed. Like, there's just no way to get around that. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it becomes a bad thing until you start pushing those expectations on other people.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that's most things in life.
Because you have the right to your opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody has the right to their opinion. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, or even if it's a horrible opinion. I go back to, the words of the philosopher Voltaire, where he straight up says, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend with my life your right to say it. Cool. Say whatever you want to say. Free speech is free speech. I get it. And I'm in. I'm down for it. However, it becomes a problem when you start to look at others and mistreating them because their opinion does not line up with yours, or their opinion does not line up with what you think their opinion should be. Does that make sense? I'm jumping in with the controversy tonight. I'm starting off with the F-bombs. I'm throwing out the controversial opinions. I'm swinging for the fences tonight.
I don't think it's that controversial to make the statement, or it shouldn't be that controversial to make the statement. like you're free to have your opinions. It becomes a problem when you try to force other people to agree with your opinions.
Right.
Like I think that's a fair comment. Like, believe whatever you want to believe, and it's fine. You wouldn't want anybody else shoving their beliefs down your throat. Don't shove your beliefs down anybody else's throat. I think is a simple, common sense concept, which is what makes it so fucking controversial because it's common sense.
Yeah. Well,
whatever happened to the like, leave me the fuck alone and I'll leave you the fuck alone? Like, that's all you need.
Yeah, dude, that's interesting, isn't it? There's like this. I mean, I know we're kind of off topic right now, but there's this like shift. It used to be, let sleeping dogs lie, just don't stir the pot, whatever, don't kick the beehive, whatever metaphor you want to use. Not anymore, man. People are like, I will not stand for this. I will not tolerate this. This madness. Stand for it, sir. You're wrong. And I will fight you to the death now.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking.
Now, anyway. Are there some opinions that are abhorrent? Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Anybody who said the Wheel of Time show was bad because there are black people in it are wrong. They're just wrong. You're dumb if you think that. But you can believe that if you want. I mean, if you want to hold that belief, cool.
I don't think cool is the answer, but.
No, it's not a cool belief. It's like a dismissive cool. Yeah, okay, buddy. Cool. Good job for your ignorant views.
I'm not accountable for how anybody else thinks, so I really don't care to know what everybody else thinks about everything. And I'm not going to ask you for it. So I especially don't want you to volunteer that information to me. So
yeah, that's another good. I think that's another.
Unless it's about aspects of the Wheel of Time, we can talk about that and share opinions all day. That's fine. When it's like a fucking socio-political issue or whatever that stuff, like I don't fucking care. I don't. Fucking miss me with that shit. Go somewhere else with your insufferable need to be a self-righteous martyr.
Well, and so many disagreement is healthy. I will die on this hill. Disagreement is healthy. Everybody should not agree on everything. They literally wrote books about this. 1984, A Wrinkle in Time. Like, universal agreement is a bad thing. It is a universally bad thing. So
it's got what plants love.
It's got electrolytes. It's got what plants crave.
What is it that plants crave? Electrolytes.
Electrolytes. Why don't we try using water, like from the toilet? Speaking of interesting dynamics in life that line up perfectly with the Wheel of Time, that you're going to be proud of me for this segue. You ready for this?
Maybe.
The Wheel of Time has the same unreliable narrator / point of view problem that real life has, right? We can get information from someone and it's wrong information, but they fully believe it's true, and therefore you're like, whoa, cool, whatever. But the Wheel of Time continuity is S tier. Like, there is an established timeline, if you will, and throughout the entire series, consistency is upheld. And there are not too many stories that are this big that have this level of detail in the different continuity callbacks and continuity accuracy. Okay. I'm thinking of a couple right off the top of my head. I'm thinking of One Piece, the anime. I'm thinking of Doctor Who, because 4 or 5 seasons ago, Doctor Who. But the continuity there was astounding. You had callbacks 30 years in the making that were just like, now granted, I'm sure it was writers being like, hey, there's this element in the show from the Fourth Doctor that was never used. We should find a way to use that. Cool, great. You guys did a great job. That's awesome. But to make it seem natural and to make it seem flowing is really, really difficult thing to do, especially with a story so big and especially with a story so full of characters that have real impact in the story. And so, you know, talking about the continuity, specifically the continuity tonight, we're going to look at some of the continuity callbacks that are just beautiful. And I wanted to start with Rand, because you have a unique challenge here with Rand, right, as a character, because you've got Rand al'Thor with the soul of Lews Therin. So you got two different characters that have to have the same timeline continuity, right? In order for later pieces of the story to make sense. And this actually culminates in this one of, I think it's a universally loved scene. I mean, leave a comment, let me know if I'm wrong. But Rand's revelation at the top of Dragon Mount at the beginning, where he evolves from Darth Rand to Bodhisattva Rand.
Darth Rand digivolve to Bodhisattva Rand.
Bodhisattva. And but the thing is that it's experience and memory that he draws upon from his life as Lews Therin that helps him connect the dots and make the realization that he is an arbiter, allows him to have purpose. So you literally have
literally it's literally an water bottle, isn't it?
You got this character whose life experience and memory takes place over the course of 3,000 or 4,000 years, and whose character timeline is the first page of the first book and holds up well when you get almost to the end of the book, and still holds up as the books, you know, end. And so specifically, you know, Rand is up on top of Dragon Mount. He's in his full feels. He's in full despair, and he is like, I'm just going to end it all. You know, the mistake Lews Therin made, or the mistake I made last time, is I didn't draw enough of the one power, and I didn't actually do a good job of destroying the world. That's what I really need to do, because Moradin is not wrong. We really need to break the wheel. Like, this is not wrong. This is not right. And he has this revelation that everybody who died gets a chance to live again. And it's the memory of the love that he had for Ilyena that sort of gives him that, like, oh my God, we fight so that she gets a chance to live again, so that she gets a chance to find happiness again. And I want to give her that chance. I want her to have that chance. And looking at this, I
don't worry. Whatever you drop will get a chance to live again.
Right. Whoa. Sidine.
Watch me channel the flame, and you just click a lighter behind your hand. Oh.
Just, all right, Andrew. Focus on the flame. You suck. You can't channel. No, like, but we have this, like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's mind blowing to look at this from a writing perspective. I'm Robert Jordan, and I start writing the prologue for The Eye of the World, and I'm like, oh no, yeah,
you're not.
Lews Therin walks around the castle, and he's insane, and he's killed everybody, and this thing happens. Well, it's not even Robert Jordan that. Well, I don't know. I guess this could have been one of Robert Jordan's passages. I'm not sure. Goes all the way back to that prologue. It goes all the way back to the prologue, specifically to, because it would have been so easy for them to be like, oh no, all of the Genail that died, all of the people that died in the breaking. Like, it would have been so easy for him to just kind of to see all the millions of people that have died due to the taint on Saidin, due to the battle with the shadow. But they didn't. They drew in a specific memory of Luz Theron's that he could draw from in order to save the world. Like, not even unironically, like to literally actually have the ability to save the world. And it's that bit of like writing continuity that it blows my mind to think about it like that. And I think it's something that's so easy to just sort of dismiss that.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, like some stuff, it could. What am I trying to say? Sometimes like it looks like there's a callback, and you never know if it's like that's what the author meant from the start, like that was their intention, or at least in part their intention, or if it was situations happen later in the writing or the show or whatever that lent themselves to this, or like it was an afterthought. Which for the effect of the story is like largely irrelevant. It's more of just a kind of noteworthy thing about the author. Because I definitely believe that some of the stuff that Robert Jordan wrote in, book one, he meant for it to be foreshadowing for other things, like him talking about how they made the pole appear Sidene and the prologue story and everything. I do think he meant for those to pave the way for a future callback, but maybe he didn't know exactly what that callback was going to be, and that evolved as he wrote and fleshed out the rest of the story. And I think he did so very well. But it is also crazy that you got to get all the way to what is it, Towers of Midnight, that Rand finally snaps out of his shit.
Or is it I think it is Towers of Midnight, because he takes the entire I
think it's Towers of Midnight. I don't know. But either way, you get like pretty much to the end
in advance.
But you get pretty much all the way to nearly the end of the series, and then finally the prologue for book one no longer really feels out of place, because you now have something in the story that links back to it, and I think like kind of defends its place as being a prologue for book one. It's definitely a little weird, and you don't like get any of that for at least 10, 11, 12 books. But then when you finally do, like, I think it's pretty neat how it does kind of bring the Eye of the War prologue into the fold, if you will.
Yeah. I'm trying to see.
Hey, it's Wayne.
Towers of Midnight.
Yeah.
So you are correct, sir.
Yeah. Once I remembered.
No, well, and especially when you hear the stories of Robert Jordan and what his writing style was, where he would send a draft up to Harriet, and and she wouldn't have finished editing it yet, and he'd bring up another draft to be like, wait a minute, don't worry about that one. This is the one I want you to edit. And like, he was so kind of like, back and forth with some of his story plot points. That's why we have, Nicolas Cage on the cover of The Eye of the World, because there was a fourth boy that was going to leave Emmons Field with Rand, Matt, and Perrin, and Robert Jordan ended up like writing him out of the story, but not before they had given the information to Daryl K. Sweet. So that's why there's that random dude who's just on the front cover. Everybody's like, who the hell is that? We don't know. Well, now we do. God, I'm just dropping shit today.
It's simple. We're gonna steal the Chronicles of the White Tower. It's simple. We steal the 13th depository.
It's simple. You kill the Amerlin seat. You kill the Dragon Reborn.
It's so simple. Why don't you do it yourself? If you're good at something, you never do it for free.
That's probably one of the greatest lines. I love it. So yeah, like, okay, so what do you think the perspectives in the story were planned versus not planned?
Well, the Sidene one I think was definitely planned. Put the bad dragon down. Bruh.
Enough from the clown. Whoa. Let's not blow this out of proportion.
That would make the scene way more terrifying. Imagine if like the Joker's like, would you like to see a magic trick? And he pulls out something from the bad dragon.
Dude.
Fucking jumps up, lands ass cheeks first on the table, and just turns around. Ta-da!
Dude, did you ever watch Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No.
Oh, dude. Okay, first off, great movie. Fantastic movie. And I never thought I'd say this, but it is the movie with the best butt plug gag in history.
Somebody gagging on a butt plug?
No.
Wrong end.
Like a gag, like a joke, like a sequence of events. And it's got the best one concerning a butt plug. Hands down, the best run of jokes concerned with a butt plug ever in the history of movies, ever. And it will never be topped. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I could not breathe. That shit was hilarious. You need to watch that movie. It's amazing.
I'll put it on the list that I don't actually have. I keep forgetting all the suggestions. But that one was planned. Perrin, I don't know if it was necessarily planned that he would make a power wrought axe hammer thing, but I think it was definitely planned that that kind of continuity thing event would happen. Something like that would happen. I mean, he's a blacksmith. He has an issue with the axe. A fight between, is it a tool or a weapon? And, Perrin's ultimately going to have a ¿Por qué no los dos moment.
Dude, I absolutely love that you segued into this, because I think this one's the one that kind of blows my mind more than any other setup, right? Mm-hmm. So to give you guys context, in case you haven't kind of put it together yet, you have and sees his ancestry. And one of them is memories of his ancestry when the Gen Aiel pick up weapons for the first time. Right? And what do? They take a spear, and the guy breaks it over his knee and says, look, it's not a weapon, it's a tool. I can kill with it, but I can also hunt with it. I can do other things with it. So it's not violating, the rules. I'm not breaking the rules. And, I can use a knife, and I'm not going to use a sword, because a knife can be considered a tool, And so you've got these little like justifications. They're saying, well, it's not strictly a weapon. Like a sword is just a weapon. There's no two ways about it. A sword is just a weapon. But a short spear, it could be a tool. A dagger, that could be a tool. So we're squeaking around this a little bit. And as we know, Perrin has this. Well, and that's the beginning of the Aiel that we know them as when the books start. And then you've got Perrin, who runs it through the entire series, hating violence, hating killing, doesn't want to have any part to do with it, has an axe that he carries that he hates, and finally gets rid of it, is going through sort of an existential crisis, and can't figure out what to do about anything, and starts working at a forge. And you guys all know the scene. It is beautiful. It's one of the best scenes in the books. And one of the conclusions that Perrin comes to is, I'm making a hammer. Because a hammer is a tool. It's not a weapon. It can kill, but it can also create. And he comes to the exact same conclusion that the Genaiel did when they first abandoned the way of the leaf. Well, what was Perrin and Aram and Perrin and Aram? Perrin and Aram, the beginning of their relationship was conflict over the way of the leaf. And I just think that's so interesting that Perrin comes to the exact same. He doesn't want to do violence. He is kind of unwittingly following the way of the leaf.
So, random thought just crossed in my head. Is that why the Aiel are like banished themselves to the desert, because they broke the way of the leaf? So they live where there are no leaves?
Well, they do say they're living there as punishment for breaking their oath, but they don't remember what the oath is. So that,
yeah,
and maybe
that's now what I think.
I love when we have these thoughts, and then someone else comes into the comments and they're like, "Yeah, duh." Like that you didn't that wasn't obvious. No, it wasn't.
I mean, it may have been, but I just thought about it.
No, but I just think that's so interesting that Perrin's journey is so similar to that of the Genaiel as they pick up weapons and abandon the way of the leaf. Perrin, in the same way, comes to peace with, picking up a weapon, quote unquote, because it's a tool. It can create as well as destroy. So therefore it's okay now. Which, hey, if that's what works for him, great.
Yeah. Perrin's story is a lesson in moderation, but not from the side of those that like enjoy too much, but from the side of those that avoid at all costs.
Yes. That's exactly. It's like the Boondock Saints, when it says we must all fear evil men, but there's something we must fear even more: the indifference of good men. And Perrin, I think, is very much caught in that, where he says, I can't be indifferent, because if I'm indifferent, then I'm just as much to blame as the guy who did the bad thing. But he has such a hard time reconciling with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the saying, like lying by omission. Like, I mean, people still argue about it, but I mean, is it still a lie if you deliberately withhold information? Like, would you? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because you are.
That's why common law tradition also makes you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Exactly.
Your three oaths you swear on a copy of Moby Dick or whatever.
Supposedly, when you swear in, you can pick whatever book you want. It doesn't have to be a Bible.
Actually, what happened in Fried Green Tomatoes, they get a pastor to lie, because instead of swearing in on the Bible, he swears in on a copy of Moby Dick. So he lies for them, and in exchange, the girl has to go to church.
I love it. But yeah, no, and a lie of omission, which thank you, wine. A lie of omission is a lie because you are altering your statement in order to make someone think something that is not the truth.
I think we made that joke an episode or two ago.
I believe we did.
There's not a lot of merch out there for the Wheel of Time, so Bad Dragon, if you want to get on making the Oath Rod.
I mean, I think there's like geeky sex toys as well out there.
Oh, there definitely is.
Well, no, I'm saying I think that's the name of the company. They've got these lightsaber dildos that are great.
Oh, are they now? They are?
Oh, they are. And they feel amazing. I mean,
bruh. The Vibe Saber. Wow, okay. Don't miss out. New drop.
The Vibe Saber.
Limited stock.
Yeah, you found it. There's Sailor Moon.
Moon One Vibe.
Oh yeah, and there's a Pikachu tail.
Oh, look at that.
You can take your Pokemon cosplay fantasies to the next level.
Oh, this one is specifically. Oh, for $50 you can get a deep space pegging. Why am I looking at the site? Talk by theme.
It's not. That's not the question, Andrew. The question is, why are you excited looking at that site?
I've seen what a lightsaber can do to blast doors. No thanks. Bro, this is a weird rabbit hole. I'm definitely doing this on the podcast Google account.
So, okay, yes, Monster Art Waffles. There is a Sailor Moon wand. Right here.
Wow. I don't know if we get in trouble for showing that kind of stuff on here.
Go follow Geeky Sex Toys. Tell them the Black Tower sent you.
Princess Peach Suction Simulator. Bruh. Bruh. The Swamp Monster. I've seen that before. This is where it came from. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay. Where were we? I got so sidetracked. We talked about Perrin and how the forging of Mahalanir was.
They have a pumpkin ball gag.
Yes, they
Sorry.
do.
All right, I'm done.
Are you? Are you?
For now.
Mahalanir is like a callback to the Genaiel, which I think is cool, which I think is awesome. That one, like I said, that one kind of blows my mind because you've got a similar journey from two very different characters, and I think that's crazy. Again, from a writing perspective, was that planned? Like, it seems like it was planned. It seems like it was projected from the beginning. I mean, you have book 1 where Perrin and Egwene meet Aram and the Tinkers. And you have Aram who, as we talked about last week, straight up just abandons the way of the leaf. And you've got Perrin who is living the way of the leaf, but not really, but kind of, but really, but kind of, but not really. And has those same sort of hangups about using a weapon to harm others. He doesn't like it. And so he kind of avoids it where possible. And you know, Elias even says, you know, hey, as long as you hate that axe, you know, keep it. But the day you love the axe, get rid of it. You know, throw it as far away as you can. And Perrin's reconciliation with
all I can think of with like just Perrin throwing an axe out randomly into the woods is from Waterboy. Oh, when Coach Klein throws the baseball out the window. and hits the professor in the side of the head. There's just some random like Shido IO that's like hiding in the shadows and just gets whacked in the side of the noggin by Perrin's axe.
Severin magic, baby.
Fayu, when you were gone, I cried. I cried like a 10-year-old girl. Nah.
I lost it.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for, man. You're making really good points, and I'm like, we need to make the episode last a little bit longer. Let me completely derail Josh.
You're not done talking. You're not done talking yet, motherfucker. Well, one of the other continuity things that we like to throw out is Almond Bunt. Like, we talk about him a lot.
Yeah.
He's a
Almond Bunt and his cakes.
Yeah. He's first introduced to us in book 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He picks up Rand and Matt, gives them a ride into, or gives them a ride closer to Camelin, right? Like, right? Or does he actually get him to Camelin?
I think he might actually get him to Camelin, because wasn't he going to Camelin to trade?
I think so, yeah.
Because he meets him outside of the Goose and Crown in Andor. Yeah. I got really confused for a second. My brain was like, but Andor's where they already are. Like, nah, Andor's a big fucking place.
Yeah. Real big.
Yeah, so he transports them on the last leg of their journey into Camelin. And basically gives us a bunch of exposition about what's going on in Camelin.
Oh my god.
And then once he gets there, he decides to stay in Camelin to support Queen Morghese.
Okay, but this is another piece of extremely subtle continuity that we don't really think about. Almond Bunt is the one who gives us, the reader, information about Tigraine. Who's Tigraine? Rand's mom. Like, yep. Almond Bunt is literally talking to Rand about Rand's mom, and Rand has no idea.
Yeah.
We also get confirmation in this moment that Rand is related to Moiraine.
Yep.
They're like second cousins or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Or like she's his aunt twice removed or something.
Yeah. She's like his, yeah.
Because Tarangale Damodred was the one who was married to Tigraine. Now, they never had any kids. Well, they had Gawain. Tigraine leaves.
They had Galad.
Galad. Tigraine leaves, joins up with the Aiel, has Rand. So by marriage, that's what it is. It's by marriage he's related to Moiraine.
Oh, Rand?
Huh?
Rand?
Yeah.
No, he's related by blood.
Well, because he's half brothers with Galad.
Yeah. Like, Galad is the blood connection that makes them blood related.
Oh.
Because Rand is blood related to Galad.
But he's not blood related to Tarangale.
Same mother. Yeah.
So he is related to Moiraine by marriage.
No. Because it's the same oh, man, I had this all figured out like a while back, and now I'm just like, because Tarangale is half brother to Anver, Inolin, and Moiraine, and is the son of Dalricin Damodred.
So Galad is Moraine's nephew. If Tarangale and Moraine are brother and sister, are they siblings?
Yeah. So they're blood related. They're blood related through Dalrison Damodred. So Dalrison is Tarangale's father.
Right.
And he is also the father of Anvier, Inaline, and Moraine.
Right. But what I'm saying is you've got Tarangale, who is blood related to Moraine, gets with Tigraine and has Galad. So Galad's link to Moraine is through Tarangale. Tigraine leaves, has a baby with someone else, has Rand with someone else. Rand is not blood related to Tarangale, and therefore not blood related to Moraine. It's via marriage. And even then, it's a loose relation.
Oh.
But I mean, even the fact that we can have this conversation, like the continuity is amazing. We can get a direct answer to this, specific. One of the other things that Almond Bunt gives us is a backstory about Lord Luke. Who is Lord Luke? He's one half of Slayer, right? Like this is insane. This is a character we don't even see again until book 3, book 4. Okay. And
so Rand is the child of Jondon and Tigraine.
Yes.
Galad is the son of Tigraine and Tarangale. So through Tigraine, he is blood related to Galad Damandred. Tarangale also had a lane with Morghese.
Right.
And Gawain with Morghese.
Right.
So that's their blood relation through there. And where the freak is Moraine on this list? So when you go up through Tarangale is the child of where does it say the mom? But Darren and Dalaran is also the father of Moraine. So
right.
Basically, from Rand to Moraine, Rand is related to the Damodreds through Tigraine, and the relation of Tigraine's through him having Tigraine and Tarangale's blood brings him into relation to Dalaran Damodred, who is the father of Moraine.
But Rand doesn't have Tarangale's blood.
Yes, he does.
How?
Well, okay, they have the blood relation through Tarangale and Tigraine having a child together. That links the blood. He shares blood through Tarangale with other members of the Damodred family that share blood.
So you're saying
Tarangale is what links him to be related by blood to Moraine.
Because he has a blood relation to Galad.
Because he has a blood relation
according to transitive
Damodred
property
family. Yeah.
Has a transitive. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just because of that. Like they have they don't share direct blood, but they share relations with people, so it connects the bloodline. So they don't actually share blood, but they share a blood connection with someone else.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Not directly with each other. So it's
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
But the to the wine. I think you got it. Something like that. Yeah.
That's it. Because Rand is 2 generations after Moraine.
So it would be like great aunt.
Yeah.
Right. Something like that.
Yeah, because Moraine would be like an aunt to Tarangale.
Yes. And that's actually something this is actually something I really loved that they did in the TV show. Sorry, another side tangent here.
No, you're fine.
When Moraine shows up to to Carrion, and she's going through the manor, and she sees the portrait of herself and her little baby sister, and she comes in, and her little baby sister is this really, really, really old lady, and she hasn't aged, but her baby sister has. That I thought was such a beautiful visual element of the story. And I think that okay, I already said my controversy for the beginning. When it comes to story continuity and story, the TV show is struggling. Like, we all understand that, right? But visually, the TV show is great. Like, visually, if you were to just put on mute and watch the show visually, like, it looks beautiful. It looks stunning. And when you have these really cool visual tricks where, you know, Moraine comes in and you're like, whoa, wait a second. Moraine is the older sister? Like, I really love that. I thought that was a really cool element to introduce into the TV show. And yeah, we didn't get the quote unquote ageless face of the Aes Sedai, but what we did get was age slowing. I mean, that's exactly what that was. And I thought it was a really, really well made illustration.
Yeah. We should do a whole we should do an episode on this family tree, because I'm looking at it now. By the time things are said and done, Elaine is related now by law to Fortuona. Like, they're related by law now.
Oh.
Because Berelain marries Galad, and Berelain draws her lineage all the way back to the Pendrag family, which Fortuona is a member of.
Right.
So, and then by extension, that makes her by law a relative of Matt.
I love it. I love it.
Like, this whole thing is, well, what does that symbol mean? Fused in blight. Oh, and through the fusion of Isam Mandragoran and Luke Mantir, Rand has a blood relation through Tigraine to Lan.
Okay, we're definitely doing a genealogy episode.
Or sorry, not Lan, Lane, not Lan, Lane.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, that's the tease I need. That's all the tease I need right there. I'm in. But rounding out Almond Bunt.
What the fuck? Oh, wait, no. With that does carry a blood relation to Alan Mandragoran through his parents. So Rand has a magical, very distant relation to Lan.
I'm excited for this.
Which then makes him, by law, related to Nynaeve.
You know what? Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, because you're not going to want to miss this episode.
We gotta. I'm looking at this fucking family tree, and it is.
It's wild.
It's like half a step away from being like pretty incesty. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, some of this shit.
What's that family that like literally bred themselves out of existence because of incest?
Oh, I don't know that one, but I know there's one in like
the Habsburgs.
Is that them, or is that the family that's like all super inbred and like most of the kids don't speak English? They like bark and grunt.
No, it's the Habsburgs.
Like America's most inbred family.
So it's actually called the Habsburgs. Yeah. It was a Habsburgs family. They were actually one of the most powerful royal families from like 1500 to 1700 in Europe, in Spain specifically. And they were so inbred that their final descendant was completely and totally unable to function. And as a result, you've got the Habsburg jaw, which is a thing. Like, if you just look up Habsburg jaw, It's a genetic trait that came from inbreeding, and a lot of people nowadays have the Habsburg jaw.
I'm scared to look up what it is.
I promise you know someone with this jaw.
Oh shit. Now also by law, Rand has a legal relation to Ruark, Animese, and Leanne.
Yes, because of Judwin.
No.
All right, everybody.
Legal because of his marriage to Avienda. Avienda is related to Ruark.
Oh, that's right. And to finish out Almond Bunt gives us all that exposition, all those subtle breadcrumbs that you have no idea. Like when you're reading it through for the first time, you go, cool. Like I'm getting a history lesson from a random dude about people I don't care about. And it's not till you go back through on a reread where you go, oh my God. He's literally telling Rand about his own mom. And Rand has no idea. He's literally telling Rand about Slayer. This would have been information that would have been great for Perrin to have. Like, it's just this subtlety of these throwaway comments that makes this amazing. And then, of course, again, fast forward 10 books later, 11 books later, Rand has his big revelation, comes down from the mountain, and who's there? Almond freaking Bunt. Tending an apple orchard. Because for some reason, Almond Bunt is called to be, or I guess, I don't know.
Well, he's trying to like when Rand comes down, their literal last hope of having any food for like the village, falls from the tree, like because all the apples are like super rotten and falling off, and Almond's like trying to do his best, and he's like, that's it. Like there is nothing to eat. Like we're going to starve. And then Rand shows up and is like, "Fair Almond Bunch, you once gave me a ride in on your cart. I shall give you apples galore."
Yeah. It's great. It really is. And again, like how do you think of this stuff? How as a writer do you plan this out? What process is there to look at this and say, I'm going to have this guy throw out seemingly meaningless information that actually is pivotal to this entire fucking story?
You know what I think part of it is, honestly, with some of it, like with Almond Bunt and stuff, there's elements to the story that the author wants to include and wants the reader to have, but doesn't have a believable way to bring it in to the story through what they have planned to happen with the main cast of characters. So they bring in tertiary characters to give exposition in a more believable or more, flowy way. Like, hey, you're getting a ride with this dude on his cart. It's going to be a bit of a trip. He's going to talk to the strangers he just picked up because, that's what you do. How do you know when you should be worried about a hitchhiker? Whenever you're talking and they're just quiet. They might be plotting your demise.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. Anybody that picks up a hitchhiker is braver than I. I'm like, no.
No, not I. Said that.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I want to do nice things for people sometimes, but I got to be alive to do nice things for people.
There's prudence in all things. No, but this one, in closing statement, this is just kind of one of the things I absolutely love about the Wheel of Time. There's two kinds of people that have read the Wheel of Time. There's one kind of person that says, "Oh yeah, that was a cool book. I don't know, I couldn't really finish it, or it was really difficult for me to finish it," and then they move on with their life, and they're weirdos. We don't necessarily associate with these people.
We ask them politely yet firmly to leave.
And then there's people who read the Wheel. Amazing. I'm going to read it again, and then you read it again, and I feel like the real diehard fans come with the rereads. I really do. I really do feel that way. And I feel like that's part of the reason why some of the older fans are the ones who are more dedicated to it, because they've read it so many times and they've picked up so much information and they've seen the depth of genius of this story. And that's why we, start podcasts and things like that.
No, we're dudes.
That's not to say that anybody's
fandom going to therapy.
Yeah, that's not to say that anybody's fan is more valid than anybody else's. It doesn't matter if you've read The Wheel of Time 1 time or 100 times, or if you're going through it still and haven't finished it yet. You are a fan of The Wheel of Time. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. We love you.
Fans of time.
Oh, hashtag fans of time. I love it. I'm putting
still a better name than fucking wheelies. Bruh.
Oh, that's great.
Bro, could you imagine just being anybody else seeing the hashtag fans of time and being like, yeah, like time's great. It tells us when to be places. Like
we love time. But geez, the story is just so well written. It's too good. It's something truly special. It's something truly amazing. And I consider myself lucky to have read it, and I'm grateful.
That was a good pop.
Thank you. I'm grateful to have read the series. I'm grateful to be here today. So yeah. And yes, you are not wrong. The Twatcast has a quote from Robert Jordan that says, well, it's the Wheel of Time. So I felt like the fans should have been named Twats, because Robert Jordan was also a dirty old man, and we love him for it.
That's his Agent Orange acting up. Being like, you know what? I'm going to write this fantastic book series that these folks are going to love, and just to troll them again, I'm going to call them twats. So. Yeah, no, I agree. Whether it comes by planning from the start, or it's just like, oh, there's an opportunity in the story for this to happen. I think it's great, and I think when a callback is used, regardless of how it was created, as long as it wasn't like just bullshitted into existence, that it's awesome. And I think it shows a lot of a writer's flexibility to be able to do those callbacks. And I think the longer back you have to go for the callback, the more impressive it is, because that means that the author has retained that information and thought critically about how it could implement. I mean, my favorite callback for the entire series is the Eye of the World, Pool of Sidene, being what teaches Rand how to cleanse the taint from Sidene. With the added caution of like, hey, people die doing this, so.
Yeah.
Which helps you understand why he pondered so long on who to ask to help him, because they were going to handle so much power. They needed to be trusted with that. But there was also a chance that one of them was going to die doing it. So, like, it's like, and you felt like, oh, the only person I can trust is Nynaeve. How do I ask someone that helped raise me to help me wipe my taint, but it's so bad they might die during it?
I mean, we could do another continuity episode and talk just about the different Angreals, Tirangreal, Sangreal that we see, because there's so much of it there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Probably do a whole continuity series.
I like the red rod. It makes me feel all fuzzy. That one should be on Geeky Toys.
I have a red rod from Bliss.
All the way from the Blight. Josh's red rod.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Thanks, everybody, for listening and or watching along. We thank you are beautiful. We thank you are lovely. And we thank you for conducting yourselves in a crazy way whilst receiving your dose of taint. Hope you like it hot and sticky. And we hope you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here. From all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been your Sora von Mahale, Mr. Josh.
And I have been your Bajan Mahale, sometimes Mr. Andrew. Well, let's drop the formalities. We're friends here. You can call me sir.
You can call me Sora von Mahale all day long. And you know what?
You could call me Great Lord Bajan Mahale. May he reign forever.
What was it? No, what is the My Hero Academia fucking death god, death explosion god?
Death god explosion.
Yeah.
Something like that. How are you feeling, Death God Explosion, man? Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you all again next